Hello, have we got anyone here? Hello? So is anyone here yet? We have got one like and five concurrent viewers. For those who's joined me on previous streams, then yeah, you'll know that live streaming isn't my strongest point, but I'm going to be getting used to it at some point. If you can hear me, just hello, John. Hello. So what I'm going to do in previous live streams I've done in the past, what I do is normally wait about 5 minutes, just so we can get a full audience, or as full as it can be. So it's 1 a.m. now in the UK, and yeah, it's pretty late. But the problem is that most of my audience is actually in the States. So obviously I've got to do this late here in the UK. So if I take a look at my audience right now, under geography, under analytics, 25.4% are actually from the States, whereas only 9.9% are from the UK. So yeah, for that reason, I do these live streams around this time. So what's everyone been up to today? Where's everyone from? Have we got any British people here? Okie doke. So, got Alex Lang, who's just gonna be joining soon. He's just messaged me on my Facebook profile. So, okie dokes. So yeah, gonna just wait another few minutes, and then I'm gonna start asking some questions. Obviously, the point of this stream is to ask what my viewers are wanting. So, you might have noticed I'm doing a lot of long plays at the moment. And that's really to buy some time. Arizona, Arizona. Yeah, my geography of the states is pretty bad, so I'm not even going to pretend to know where Arizona is. Um, Let me take a wild guess. Is Arizona like a desert? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure if I said where I was in Britain, you probably wouldn't know where that is. So, okay, cool. You know what? Whilst we're waiting, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to just type up Arizona and let's see. So it's a US state, obviously, and I was partially right. So yeah, this I recognise from Forrest Gump when Forrest Gump is jogging. So yeah, pretty cool place. I wasn't far off from knowing about Arizona. Okay, I'm into new retro games lately. So do you mean you're kind of like a younger person, Neurosis, and you're looking at old games, or do you mean uh, new games for sort of retro platforms? Yo, Alex. Yeah, I was just talking to you on Facebook. That's okay. No worries. Okie doke. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna yeah, just kick this off now. I've only got looks like five viewers, so yeah. What can I help you with, and what is it you want from Just Jamie here in what's to be June? We're actually on the 1st of June right now. Montreal, Canada. You know what, Alexander or Alex? I watch Mr. Sujano. He's Canadian as well. You might watch him. He does a lot of emulation news. That's one of my favorite uh, YouTube YouTubers. Yeah, Mr. Sujano. He's often out in the wilderness when he's still with his emulation news updates. Okie doke. So, yeah, we need some questions then. What is it people's wanting? So, I'd imagine a fair few of you here is for retrobat. Hello, Amiga. So yeah, retrobat wise, I got a massive playlist for retrobat, and it's quite likely, if there's a guide you're looking for in specific to retrobat, I've probably covered it in the past year and a half. Yo, Skulls. Okay. Okay, so Alex, I do put out a warning every now and again that I don't provide links and I don't provide information even in live streams where to get games because that's a major breach of YouTube's policy and I don't do it. I enjoy doing my channel and I don't want to compromise it. So Alex, what you need to do is well Google. If that's what you're looking for. Funny enough, I had someone ask me today. What I've done is actually filtered out the word ROM and similar words in on my YouTube channel. So the reason that is because constantly, daily, if not several times a day, people was asking me where to get ROMs, and it's an ongoing argument. So in the end, I just decided to filter out those words. And if you're not using those words, you'll be using words like files. Like I say, the point is that you're not going to get any links. So that's good, Alex. Cool. So no disrespect, but like I said, I do pride my channel. I've worked really hard to get it where it is today, and it's going to get better and it's going to get bigger. So yeah. But having said that, there is other YouTubers out there who literally show you where to get these things and even provide links, but it's just something I won't do. So yeah. Anyway, I'll stop going on about that. So Retrobat is the best. Now that's debatable, Omega. Reminds me of Marilyn Manson. Omega Mechanical Animals. um, you know what? Asking for games, it's a no-brainer. In the past, I've used my own software to rip my own discs. I own several retro game cartridges, that type of thing, even Commodore 64 tapes. The rule of thumb in emulation is that if you own the game, you're rightly entitled to play it or whatever. But I'm not going to go down that avenue of debate. We're talking about emulation here, not where to get games. Yeah. So, retrobat. So obviously, retrobat is one of the things which has made me so many subscribers on YouTube. I've also done lots of different front end systems. If a lot of you's not aware, so we've got a tracked mode, which is pretty complex, but very customizable. Now the problem is with a front end like retrobat is that it's very good, but it's very basic in terms of customizing it. Whereas retrofe or a tracked mode's highly customizable, but like I said, very, very complex. Archive that ends in .org. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what archive.org is, but yeah, never heard of that one before. Okay, so yeah, in addition to Retrobat, other front ends I've done is a very good one is actually Emulation Station Desktop Edition, which is a very nice front end and it's fairly new, whereas Retrobat, it's been going for probably around 4.5, maybe even 5 years. So it's a lot more matured and a lot more work's gone into that. Okay, so is that a question how to back up your own PlayStation 3 games? There's a couple of routes you can actually go down. So if you've got your PlayStation disc, there's software out there which I've actually used in the past to actually rip my Blu-ray discs. Um, Bear with me a sec. I think I've got some still in my collection, which my son got me. So yeah, I've got a few PlayStation 3 games here. My son, bless his little heart, he actually picked these out of I'm not sure where he got them from. His tight ass mother wouldn't actually give him any money to get me anything. His own dad so much. So bless him, he found these and I've treasured them ever since. And yeah. So I actually ripped this one for a setup guide I did a little while back just to experiment and just see if I could do it. And you can do it. Just get yourself a rewritable Blu-ray player, which can plug into your PC. And I forget top of my head what the software was, but in other words, you can rip the contents and pretty much turn it into a PS3 or PCS3 compatible folder file type thing. PS3 disc dumper. Sounds familiar. I think there's actually a couple out. And like I say, to be honest with you, I really can't think off the top of my head. And whilst we're talking about ripping things, some of you here, I know it's not retro, but I've done some Nintendo Switch setup guides in the past. Now, um, like I say, as far as I'm aware or concerned, if you own the games, then you're entitled to emulate them. And the biggest argument, I think, is that why would you want to emulate, systems like this, which are new? And my argument is I'm a visual freak. I love visuals. And obviously, with something like Yuzu, which is no longer being serviced, it's been closed down. You can upscale things, and for PS3 games in particular, upscaling them and getting a better picture is so much superior than its native resolution. Of course, this is where internal resolution comes in, and PlayStation 1, for example, internal resolution, just amazing stuff if you happen to have the old PS1 games. Yeah, you know what, school's playlist? I have been contemplating on doing it, but I'm kind of at a crossroads at the moment. I've done so many setup guides in a short period of time that I'm actually here trying to get some feedback, what it is people want. So, what I'm actually going to do is open up a notepad and I'm going to start just typing down some ideas. So, looks like a bit of code I've got just here for attract mode. Uh, so Blu-ray, yeah, I'm going to just generate a little list here of bits and pieces which I can look into. So PS3 game ripping. Okie dokes. So yeah, what else is it people's wanting from the channel? You might have seen, like I was saying just a minute ago, that I've done a lot of long plays recently. And the reason for that is, well, I'm a retro gaming channel and I'm just trying to expand the horizons. So rather than just doing setup guides every day, people's argued in the past I do too many of them, they can't keep up. I thought let's actually go down a different route. I've even done documentaries on computers in the past on my channel. So yeah, so it's not like the channel just Jamie is gonna disappear or whatever. I'm still keeping going with it. I'm just literally trying to get ideas. Nadson, are you Spanish? I'm not sure what this says. It seems that you're asking for BIOS. If that's the case, and you can understand what I'm saying, you're not going to be getting any links for BIOS files from me. Okay, so Emulation Station Desktop Edition got notification for an update, but I'm scared to mess it up. I would love to know how to do it properly. The way to do it properly is I did a retroarch update guide today because that's a little bit different, but generally something glossy, more glossy like Emulation Station, I believe it works similar to retrobat. So you would go down to update. I've not used Emulation Station in a while, but I'm pretty sure there's an update button, or at least you'll get a notification on Emulation Station to tell you that there's an update. Just make sure you back up games or whatever. Also, save your configuration files, such as your system files. So, yeah, before updating anything, that's crucial. And you could see that in today's RetroArch update video that I did. There's particular files you don't want to overwrite when you're updating front ends because a lot of your settings, a lot of your saves might disappear. So when people say back up your data, they mean stuff like that. So far then, we have got how to rip PlayStation 3 discs. So that's pretty good. And yeah. So Emulation Station actually, it's a front end that I'm hoping to cover a little bit more. So can you get more themes on RetroArch? Devo, um, have you watched my customizing RetroArch guide at all? In fact, whilst you're here, I'm going to very quickly show you my version of RetroArch where I've customized it myself. So bear with me a second. And if I just open up RetroArch, so this is my RetroArch. This is what I customized myself. So very easy to do. It's not actually that complicated. So as you can see just here, I've got dynamic background going on like the XMB wave. I've also got a picture in the background, which is not sure what art style it is. I've also got different icons on here as well. So what I'm going to do actually, whilst you're asking, is just very quickly into the right, and I'm going to link you up with that RetroArch guide. Okay, so for today's RetroArch setup guide, so what I'm going to do is just paste that link in there for you so you can find out how to do that. So this is the link to customize RetroArch. So yeah, very quickly in terms of themes, uh, I think background images is if you look for any image on Google, JPEG or it could be .png images, it's very easy just putting it into a wallpaper folder. I think it was on RetroArch. Yeah, so in terms of customizing RetroArch, that's the video to watch. And like I said, really, if people gave RetroArch a little bit more time and a bit more patience, you can really make RetroArch look amazing. You can even put music in the background if you want to. You can do a lot with it. It's very customizable. Did you ever get the Chronos for Sega Saturn fig? Yes, Chris, I remember. I think you asked me a little while back. You commented on one of my videos, possibly. It's just, you know what? I'm actually going to open up that notepad and I'm going to work on a video for you. So, Retchback Chronos Saturn. So, to my knowledge, you got Chronos or Chronos. I think there's a RetroArch core in retrobat, and I'm sure there's also a standalone. I've actually done a setup guide in the past on the standalone version of Chronos. It's also that emulator which emulates the Sega STV arcade PlayStation games. Okay, hey Jamie. So I was wondering why on emulator Xenia in Retrobat when I tried to play Forza Horizon, it starts up, but when I start playing, it crashes. It could be a number of things, Dragon King. So it could be that your video driver for the emulator itself is the wrong driver. So what I'm going to do is very quickly open up retrobat for you, and I'm going to show you how to change drivers over. So just open up retrobat.
Both drivers refuse to get.
So I'm just going to turn the sounds down a second on retrobat. Because I don't want the music drowning out what I'm doing here. So, okay.
The race is at the halfway.
Dragon's Lair.
So for Xbox, to change your video driver over if you're getting crashes or you're getting a black screen, it's literally okay. So go into your view options, advanced system options, and don't let's see. I go to auto. For Xbox 360, if you go into these options, you'll likely find drivers. And by auto, retrobat's going to use the next one down from auto. So it could be OpenGL. So try changing over the video driver for Xbox 360. That's what I. Okay, well, so we got one retrobat supply, but keeps popping up. Bias is missing for it, and then run it ×3 speed. But keeps popping up. The bias is missing. Let's see. You know what, Chris? Let me just show you something very quickly. If I type into Google, retrobat, Sega Saturn, isn't it? So Sega Saturn. If you just type into Google, say retrobat, normally you've got a retrobat wiki. Just here I found Saturn. So yeah, just here it's going to tell us we got Libretro, which is a retroarch version of Kronos. So it looks like we don't actually have a standalone emulator for retrobat for Kronos. It's literally just a retroarch core for that. But if you do Google stuff like this, it's going to tell you a lot. So, for example, just here, it lists which BIOS files you need. Now, if you've got all these BIOS files and the naming conventions are exactly as I say here, uh, I don't think you're going to go very far wrong. If you also notice, Chris, you've got Saturn underscore BIOS.bin. It tells you just here that that particular BIOS file is going to go inside of your BIOS Kronos folder. So if I go into my retrobat directory, open file location, BIOS, I should have a Kronos folder here. That's what the wiki just told me. Kronos, and there we go, Kronos. So, Chris, have you actually put the BIOS file into this BIOS Kronos folder? Oh, thanks, Alex. I really appreciate it. So, I don't want to be presuming, but if anybody wants to support my channel for the videos I do and pretty much everything else, if you want to send donations, send them to my PayPal. The reason being is that YouTube, if you send supers, literally takes away something ridiculous, like 40 or 50%, and it's insane. So really, PayPal it's the best way to go. And whilst I'm talking about this, I also offered a little additional little service, I suppose. If there's anything that you're struggling with, I can actually connect to your computer using a program called TeamViewer, and I can do setups for you that way. So the options there, and pretty much I just ask for PayPal donations. Just to make up for my time. I spend a lot of the day researching, editing, that type of thing. Hello, Defro. So basically, you download the standalone one, then take the BIOS from it. Uh, you don't need to download anything, Chris. RetroArch comes with retrobat. There are several emulators you do need to download in retrobat, such as teknoparrot is one of them. But that one in itself is a RetroArch core, so you don't need to download it. What you do need, though, is the BIOS file, which we can see just here. Chronos, for example, Saturn underscore BIOS.bin. It's going to go in your retrobat directory, BIOS folder, Chronos folder, and just place that one inside of that Chronos folder. As for the other files just here, they will literally just go into your BIOS folder loosely. See what, Alex? So yeah, Chris, that's likely where you're going wrong. Give it a go. If it still doesn't work for you and things are going stupidly times three speed, let me know. Just drop me a comment in one of my retrobat videos and I'll investigate it. And to be honest, Chronos was a retrobat guide I was going to do for retrobat at some point anyway. So, if you're struggling with it, then there's a good chance a lot of others are struggling with that particular RetroArch core in retrobat. Okie dokes. So, is there any other questions? Is there anything anyone wants from me on the channel? Yeah, so retroarch is pretty simple, and most front end systems uses retroarch, or for systems I've covered like attract mode or retro front end or retrofe. Yeah, it's a bit more complicated, but retroarch really is one of the best out there for that. So yeah, what's everyone using at the moment? Is it just retrobat here, or is there anybody out there using something a bit more exotic like a tract mode or retro FE? Because a lot of the time I'll mention I've done these setup guides and I've got dedicated playlists for them. And a lot of people aren't aware of it, but I've got a hell of a lot of playlists which I've compiled over the past year and a half. So, yeah, like I say in my live streams. I've got loads of videos I've done in the past. A lot of you's probably not aware of. So always try looking in my playlist, especially retrobat. I think I've done probably 145 at this point, different setup guides for retrobat. You have to excuse me. I'm literally just messaging someone just here about something. So what have we got? Did you manage to set up in television in RetroArch? You know what, Defro? That's actually one I've not done for RetroArch. My main focus has always been on RetroBat. Uh, RetroArch probably the second with the most. So what I'm going to do is Uh, put another item on the list. So you want in television. So in television, that's what, a late 1970s console. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, not popping BIOS message, but still running fast. Okay. What I'm going to do, Chris, is do what exactly what I said, and yeah, I've already listed it actually. Da, 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 da. Yo, T Dog, what's up, man? So yeah, Chris, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at Chronos. I do remember doing a Retrobat Sega STV setup guide, and that's PlayStation, pretty much PlayStation arcade games. And I remember, was it PlayStation? No, I don't know what I'm saying. It's a bit late and I'm a bit tired. Don't forget what I said. Is there any particular reason you want to be using that particular core, Chronos? So Death Row, what I'm going to do is take a look at RetroArch in television, and I'm not promising anything, but I'll try and get that one up for you tomorrow. If you don't see it, then there's a good chance if you struggle to get in RetroArch in television working, I might struggle as well. But I'll try my best to sort that out for you. Yeah, so I did SSF Retrobat tutorial, and I'm pretty sure it's SSF, which don't actually require BIOS files at all. Um, yeah, I did a couple, I think, on Saturn. Yeah, no worries, Defro. So, quite a morbid username, I gotta say. Alec for NX theme, that would be emulation station based. So, for RetroArch, single still images are probably your best bet. So, as a whole, using the Alec for NX theme, it's not going to work, I wouldn't have thought. Um, yeah, so yeah, you also got Mendefin, also great for Saturn. And Chris, if you're a big Saturn fan, I actually did a Mendefin multi-emulator setup guide. Uh, bear with me a second. I could link you to that. Bear with me. And yeah, if you noticed Donald Trump just now, I did come across the news where he's now a convicted felon. But I'm not going to get into that. We're not going to talk politics. Okay, so in today's
This
setup guide, retro gaming channel, and yeah, we're not talking about Mr. Trump at all. But anyways, this is the link I've just popped in there for you. That's for Mendefin, and the accuracy rate for Saturn or PlayStation One, I think it is pretty much top notch. Probably the best you'll get out there. And of course, you've also got Mednafin in Retrobat as well. I think it's one of your options for Sega Saturn. There's also Bizhawk as well. I'm not sure if Retrobat does that. Hey Inferno, you know what I was saying earlier on that the problem is for me, my audience comes alive sort of early hours of the morning in the UK. It's 25 to 2 here right now. But my biggest audience is abroad in America by far. So uh, if I do a live stream sort of around 6 p.m. here at my time, no one really bothers. So I think the Americans appreciate me more than the British. So you know what I mean? So yeah, in terms of the videos I do, Inferno, That's cool. No worries. I enjoy doing it. It keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me off the streets, and it keeps me sane. And if I'm not making videos, I'm painting Games Workshop models. Actually inspired again by my son a couple of years back. So yeah, that's what I do in my spare time when I'm not editing and things like that. Paint orcs. So yeah, there you go. So we'll also sideload on retrobat. Get those Amstrad videos up to draw in your own kind. Get those Amstrad videos up to draw in. I'm not sure what you mean, T Dog. Amstrad. Uh, what's his name? Alan Sugar. Alan Michael Sugar. Can't think what Amstrad actually stands for. You know what? My mum and dad actually had a Amstrad camcorder in the late 80s, and I used to use it to do my own little films using puppets I make. Something good times, better times than today. How to play Mario Kart Arcade in Triforce. You're in luck, PC gaming. Bear with me. Bear with me, PC gaming. I am going to point you into a guide I did, which you're looking for. Triforce. Okay, so for today's setup, where are we? So PC gaming, I'm going to just paste a link in. That's going to take you to a video to get you running Mario Kart Arcade in Triforce. If you happens to be running that in retrobat, retrobat, and for Triforce, and the next link I've just posted, that is for retrobat Triforce. Oh, I see what you mean, T-Dog, to bring British people in Amstrad CPC. You know what? I think in the UK, the biggest audience, especially in the 80s, was quite likely the ZX Spectrum. Obviously, the Spectrum was a very budget computer, hence why a lot of them was breaking within the first couple of months. Very cheap at the time, and of course, in the 80s, microcomputers was a fairly new concept, but Spectrum was the cheapest, and hence most of the kids here in Britain had a Spectrum in the 80s. Now, Death Row, I possibly got something for you you might not have seen. Every now and then I do
Hello and
some
welcome.
Amstrad because I try to cover everything. I think a lot of so-called retro gaming channels, a lot of so-called retro gaming channels, they focus exclusively on Nintendo or Sega, but me, I got appreciation for everything. So the link I'm going to send you, PC Gaming, that's going to take you to CPC CD. There's a very, very cool front end, I believe. Uh, I uploaded that one a little while back, and it's actually pretty cool. The Amstrad CPC homebrew scene is very good as well. So I know about these things, just like the C64 and ZX Spectrum or ZX Spectrum homebrew scenes alive and kicking. Um, I'm a big micro fan myself, a massive Commodore 64 and Commodore Amiga fan. So I've actually got Commodore dedicated playlist. As a kid, I had a C64. Yeah, no worries, Death Row. Yeah, as a kid, I had a C64. Christmas 1990, I had a Playful Intelligence pack, which came with Flimbo's Quest, Clacks, International Soccer, and Fiendish Freddy. And I suppose it was one of the last variants which Commodore produced on the endings of the Commodore days. So obviously Commodore 64 sort of seen the best of during the 80s. I had mine pretty late, but I loved it, and that was my first computer. And over the years, when I was a kid, I'd go to car boot sales. If you're in America, that means garage sales, that type of thing. Uh, and I'd pick up old computers, microcomputers. Obviously, they were two a penny back then, um, and it was random what I'd actually pick up from car boot sales back then. I got a memory of picking up an Atari 800 XE. No, it's an Atari XE something. I picked up BBC Micro for about £10 with a cub monitor with loads of disc and a dual diskette drive. You know what, Luke? International soccer on the C64. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one, but on that cartridge, I was a big fan of Flimbo's Quest. I've actually got Flimbo's Quest or Flimbo tattoo. Good memories. And Ghostbusters, you know what? I was actually talking to my fiance a little while back about Ghostbusters. It's a strange thing because I'm pretty sure the first Ghostbusters film was a 15. It was obviously marketed to kids at that time. I had Ghostbusters figures like a lot of kids in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, a game of the film. It wasn't very child friendly, I suppose. It was all about learning how to manage your Ghostbusters business and things. And then obviously on the C64, you had Ghostbusters 2 and you had the real Ghostbusters. You probably remember the real Ghostbusters. It was a cartoon, and there was a game of it as well, which I had, which I didn't play too often. I remember the loading times on the real Ghostbusters was ridiculously long. Ghostbusters 2, nah. So, what else do we have? I just want to say thanks to, bear with me, people. Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Alex Lang for PayPal me a little donation. If you're here, wherever you might be gone. But yeah, thanks. If anyone else wants to help the channel, support the channel, I said earlier on, please, 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 uh, PayPal it rather than use Super. It's incredible how much YouTube takes away, eats up the money for supers, that type of thing. If you do want to support the channel, uh, bear with me. The link is at the top of this message. And okay, I'm going to just copy this back again. So yeah, if anyone wants to support the channel, if you could do a PayPal, it would really be helpful. Uh, like I say, YouTube, they take all my damn money away. Anyways, so let's get on with this. So far during this live session, we have got yeah. So far, then for this stream, we have found a potential PlayStation 3 game ripping how to do it for the use of RPCS3 emulator. We got a retrobat Chronos, which is a Sega Saturn setup guide, which needs to be done. And we've randomly got RetroArch in television, which needs doing. So, is there anything else we should add to the list? Is there anything in particular anyone wants as a setup guide which I might not have done or you want me to do? Okie dokes. So what I do normally with these live streams, I let them run for around an hour. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Alexander, or Alex. I'm going to call you Alex. No props. And like I say, I'm going to be looking into Kronos for you tomorrow. I'm going to be going to bed in a couple of hours, probably. Uh, so yeah, expect that one coming tomorrow. Now, if I have problems with it, I'll still do a setup guide, but I'll just tell people that there isn't a possible way of running it accurately. Tiger Electronic Games, so LCD games. I'll take a look at that one. I did a Nintendo Game & Watch setup guide for retrobat, and that was using I'm pretty sure it was MAME as an emulator to power those. But I'll put that on my list as well. So Tiger Electronic Games. I'm not sure why anyone would want to play Tiger Electronic Games because personally I thought they were pretty bad. But nostalgia, I suppose. So yeah, I had some LCD games back in the day. The one I didn't have, which I really wanted, was the Turtles game, the big green block of plastic green. And yeah, I really want that one, but I remember they were very popular once. So for anyone else who likes the idea of LCD games, emulating them, let me point you into Game and Watch. Game and Watch, I spelled that wrong. Game and Watch. I suppose about games, game and watch. No, game and watch. Okay, so
So for today's
users,
retrobat
if you're
setup guide, we are
interested
taking a look at
in
the very
LCD
old school
games, we
retro
got Game and
Nintendo
Watch
Game &
just here.
Watch. So from time to
So what
time
I'm
when
going
you're
to do
scrolling through your runs
is
folder in your retrobat directory, you would have likely come across
also
Game &
paste that
Watch.
video just
Maybe you
there.
pop
So if
some
anyone
games into your
wants
Game
to
& Watch
know how
runs
to
folder, but you're
run
not
Game and
getting
Watch
artwork in
LCD
the casing
games
for your games like I've
for
got right
retrobat,
just
the
here.
guide is
So I'm going
just
to be
here. I've
showing you
just
how to do that,
pasted a link
is
in there
well
for you.
before. So let's open
It's a
up
little
retro.
bit technical, this one. It's not as
Now you
easy
need to make sure that
as
the
other
artwork is
setup guides.
titled.
Yeah, if you want it, it's there for you. You know what, Defro? The first time I seen a Game and Watch was in my first junior school. I went to two, and I knew a kid at the time who had a Mario Cement Factory. I'm sure it was the Cement Factory game, and it was like a book. You opened it up like a book, and it had a screen on each side. And at the time, it would have been a good 7 or 8 years old at the time, but I was really impressed by it. It's like, wow, this is pretty special. And obviously, Nintendo are doing reproductions at the moment for the past few years on the gaming watches. So we got about 10 minutes left. I've got some good ideas just here, some random ideas actually, but it's going to give us some content and hopefully there'll be popular videos. It was. I suppose Nintendo seen a market in LCD games at the time. To be honest with you, I know a lot about microcomputer history and console history, but LCD games, I don't really know that much about compared to with obviously microcomputers and consoles. It's because I never really had much of an interest. Like I said, I had LCD games when I was growing up, but they were really played well when I was very bored. So, yeah. There was actually one LCD game. It was a Tiger LCD game I had. I had it for a birthday. I must have been about 7 or 8 at the time. And it was called Breakout. And I think that was actually my favourite game. No, Grandstand. That's who manufactured that one. Obviously, you had Grandstand, who was doing LCD games. You had Tiger, who was a big one. Obviously, Nintendo was doing it for a limited time at the time. Now Sonic watches. Was that the LCD Nintendo watches where you could actually play a game on it? Because I didn't have one of those either, but I knew a couple of kids in school actually had a couple of those watches. Did you check RGS Batocera retrobat builds? Oh, sorry, Mr. Froggy, I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Did you check RGS Batocera retrobat builds? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, you know what? I expect Death Row at the time when those watches with games built in were a thing. I bet they annoyed a lot of teachers, without a doubt. Probably nothing compared to today's standards with kids on their iPhones and Samsungs. You know, I remember in school as well, I knew a kid, and he had something like 120 games on a single OG Game Boy cartridge. And at the time, I was like, whoa, this is pretty mega. I'm pretty sure he said at the time it was some sort of Japanese or Chinese import or something along those lines. Crazy stuff. Yeah, you know what? I had Mario Simpsons watch in school. I don't remember the Simpsons one. Let's have a look. Mario watch. Probably 1989-ish. Probably. I'm not sure. Yeah. Now, this watch just here, 1989, bang on. I'm pretty good with my years. Got a good memory for some reason. 1989. This is the Mario watch. I remember a couple of kids having. I wanted one. Never happened. Look at this now. £117, 22. Obviously, that's GPP. But, whoa, those are pretty collectible. So, what's everyone? The Simpsons watch. Don't actually remember that one, I don't think, unless I see a picture of it. It might uh, say 1990. Oh no. I can't find a Simpsons Game Watch. No, can't find one. Simpsons Tiger LCD Watch. I just don't remember that one. Let's have a look. Simpsons Tiger. Oh, do you know the Simpsons have been going since 1989? So, partner asked me last night, or partner's friend's son asked, said, when did The Simpsons start? And I guesstimate it's 1989. And yes, 1989 The Simpsons started. And to date, there's been a ridiculous amount of episodes. Obviously, we're on season 35 of The Simpsons. And there's been something like 687 episodes to date. So, obviously, The Simpsons was much more popular back in the early 90s, but yeah, so there's the LCD watch. You know what? I don't remember anyone having that watch. Mr. Foggy, thanks for that. What I'll do, I will check. I'll take a look. Yeah, I'll check that out. In fact, RGS is a dude. No worries, Alex. What I'm going to do, just make a note of that. RGS builds. To be honest with you, ready-made builds aren't really my thing. Every now and again, I'll do a showcase on one just to show people what's out there. But myself, I prefer creating front-end systems. And to be honest, I barely play them. So as long as they're helping other people, which they seem to be. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I actually reached 17,000 subscribers the other day. and I'm really chuffed with that. So I'm actually on 17,039 subscribers. So yeah, really chuffed with that. Good times, good orders. So I'm going to be off in about 5 minutes. Yes, Death Row. I used to put arcade machines together, so I actually did a video, a speeded up video, I think, on actually building an arcade cabinet, which was a bar top arcade. It's been an ambition for a good several years now to actually do a full size. I know how to do it, but obviously these type of things they cost a lot of money, even to build them yourself. The MDF, the perspex, a decent screen, joysticks, buttons, it all costs money. And bar tops are more popular because obviously they're probably half of the cost of what full size would do. Something else I really like to actually build at some point would be a proper full on pinball machine, but again, very expensive to build. No worries, Ray. If you just joined, Ray, I am literally going to be going in a minute. So yeah, I try my best to get in a good time where most people's going to be watching, but sometimes it's a bit hard to judge what's going to be the best time to do this. So I'm going to ask again a few minutes if there's any setup guides you want me to do, which I've not yet covered. Just drop a comment just here, and I'll investigate it for you. And anyone else who wants to donate to support the channel, to cheer me on, as it were, please PayPal me so I get the money directly and YouTube don't eat the funds. So I just want to say, Alex, yeah, well done. Thanks again for your donation. Really, really chuffed with that. Thanks. So, Death Row, is that a cable arcades cabinet you mean you got? I actually did a long play of that the other day. It's such a great game, a really underrated game as well. Really addictive. And Jesus, the arcade version of that is solid, really hard. Thanks, Death Row. I really appreciate that. What I'll do is, bear with me, just make it a bit easier for you. If I just go up and grab the PayPal address. Uh, Yeah, as some of you's probably aware, I'm kind of new to live streaming. I've done a several, but I'll get used to it properly at some point. Uh, let's see. There we go. Death Row. You should be able to just click on that PayPal link just there, and that should take you straight to PayPal. But anyway, really, last chance now. Got a couple of minutes. Like I was saying, I normally do these live streams for an hour, and then my mouth starts getting very dry, and I need a drink, and I need some rest. So yeah, absolutely. Last minute now. If anyone's got any ideas for setup guides or any content you want me to do in the near future, let us know now, and I'll get onto that. Nice one. So, yeah, Defra, I just want to say thanks for your donation. I really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure you asked me earlier on for a guide. Was it retroarch in television? In television. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I am going to take a look at the ideas some of you's come up with, and hopefully I'll get one of those up tomorrow, if not two of those setup guides. So PS3 game ripping, it's likely that one's going to come, but not for a little while. Retrobat from a Saturn I'm going to look at. RetroArch in television. We also got Tiger Electronic Games for Emulation Station Desktop Edition. and someone's recommended me to look at RGS builds, so got a fair few ideas there. No worries, Defro. You know, like I said, it's nice to get uh bit of support, from people just to uh recognize my channel's decent, I suppose. It's like I'm actually worth uh people like yourself. You're actually thinking I'm actually worth supporting. So it's a confidence boost in myself in stay retro. So really, I'm going to be off now. But like I've been saying, I'm going to investigate those ideas, and I'm going to get into those tomorrow at some point. And so yeah, that's it. If you are new to the stream right now, I'm really sorry, but I've been on for an hour, and my mouth is dry, and I gotta go. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and stay retro.